Jensen, CEO of Illumination Coaching and Wellness. Today we are going to talk about curiosity over judgment. So, how many of you are judgers out there? I am. I judge myself so much. I'm my own worst critic, and so I'm always thinking of how I could have done it better and why didn't I do it right, and if I adjust, right? Do any of those sound familiar? So today we're going to talk about how you change some of that judgment and you shift it into curiosity, because it really is all about mindset. It's about how you go into a situation. It's about how you look at things. So let me tell you my own story, something that happened over the past few weeks, and see if you can relate. So I had been really good about scheduling in self-care. So we know self-care is really important. We know that putting it on a schedule and blocking the time is also really important, because in our busy, chaotic lives, stuff happens and gets in the way. So my favorite self-care time is about 8 o'clock at night. It's when the house is kind of quiet, people are settling in, it's after dinner, and it's my way of winding down before bedtime. So 8 o'clock is kind of my time, and I would schedule in specific things. So Tuesday might be journaling, Wednesday might be stretching, Thursday might be meditation, and so on and so forth. And so it was scheduled in. 8 o'clock, I'm gonna journal tonight. 8 o'clock, I'm gonna go meditate tonight. And that was working, but it started to feel a little like it was too structured. So I was like, oh, I gotta go journal. Oh, I gotta go meditate. And it didn't feel as flexible as I wanted it to. So I was like, okay, great. I noticed that, right? And so instead of just throwing out the idea altogether, I thought about how could I change this? Instead of saying, oh my gosh, why aren't you wanting to do self-care? Why aren't you getting this done? What's going on? That would be the judgment. It was like, oh, interesting, something needs to change. So that's where the curiosity comes in. So I sat with it and I was like, okay, what needs to change? And I was like, I wonder if I can make it more flexible. So I decided that I was just gonna put 8 o'clock free choice time on my calendar. And I made myself a little menu of things that I like to do. So when I made the menu, I sat with each thing. So meditation, and I was like, do I like it? Do I get anything from it? Is it something I wanna keep doing? Am I just doing it because? And I was like, no, meditation's good. Stretching, same thing, why am I stretching? What is this doing for me? Do I like it? Is this something I want to keep doing, or is it something I should be doing? Want versus should, that's a topic for another day. So I went through several ideas, several activities to figure out what are the ones that I really did want in my life. And I made myself a little menu. And so the first week I wrote it on my calendar, 8 o'clock free choice time. And what I found was I wasn't very consistent in going and doing something. And I was like, huh, that's interesting. Okay, well, it was also the first week of school at that point, and I was like, who knows? I noticed that this week I didn't even write it on my calendar. I didn't even schedule it in. And I was halfway through the week and noticed and was like, oh my gosh, I didn't even schedule it in. Okay, this little experiment has taught me a lot. So again, I could have been like, what? I didn't do it. How awful. Oh my gosh, you let self-care go. You're horrible. Why aren't you taking time for this? That's the judgment. But instead I was like, oh, wow, how fascinating this is that I didn't even write it in. So what I learned from this experiment, what I learned from being curious, is I do need the structure, that works really well for me, that having something figured out so that I don't have to think about it at the time, because by 8 o'clock at night, my brain's a little dead, that I don't have to think about and decide is actually helpful for me. So just writing free choice, I get a little like, I don't know what I want to do. Never mind, I'm not going to do anything. And then I just lose it all together and don't write it down. So I am someone who needs that structure. I love having it written down and crossing it off. But what I realized from this is I do need to give myself more flexibility, in the sense of if I get back into my quiet space and I don't want to journal, maybe I stretch instead. Or maybe I give myself permission to, I don't know, color or something. So something else that would serve me. So instead of being so stuck on, well, I wrote down journaling, I better journal, and then having the judgment if I don't, oh, I didn't do what I said I was gonna do, I'm allowing myself that flexibility that if in the moment I want to change my mind, I can. That's okay. because we have the option to change our mind. We have the option to do it differently. So this is an example of that, choosing curiosity over judgment. I could have been judging myself the last 2 weeks all over the place, but instead I chose to get curious and learn something about myself and really dig in, so that now when I write it down and I go to do self-care at 8 o'clock, I can feel really confident knowing that there's a reason, there's a purpose, and that I've sat with these things and know that they benefit me. Even if in the moment I'm like, I gotta go journal, I know deep down that it's going to benefit me in many ways. And you might pick your own things. These are just things that work for me. Yours might be taking a bubble bath. It might be reading a book. It might be sitting in quiet for 10 minutes before you go to bed. There's so many different things that you could pick. These are just examples. So I'm curious, does this resonate? Are you open to shifting your mindset from one of judgment to curiosity? Do you see how it could be kind of fun and like a science experiment? For any of you that love science, I like science. For any of you that like science, get into that science mode where it's like, I wonder, I'm curious, what would happen if? Oh, that didn't work. What's my next hypothesis? So if we can approach it from that way with a little bit more fun, then we can actually learn about ourselves and we can accomplish what it is that we're hoping to accomplish. Okay, so that is all about curiosity over judgment. So if you want to get notified when more videos come out, hit that subscribe button so that you can get notifications. Check out the other videos on my channel. And if you are ready to turn your judgment into curiosity and you need a little help, schedule a free call with me. I do complimentary consultations so that we can see, where your blocks are and how you might be able to best move forward, whether it's working with me or not. You walk away with some sort of action plan. You usually have 2 to 3 action steps that you can take regardless if you work with me and keep things moving forward, make differences in your life. Have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your day.